Hi, everyone. I see people are joining. Let's take maybe another 20, 30 seconds break just to make sure that everyone here is on board. And then we'll start with our presentation, with our webinar for today. But I see people are joining quite fast, so we might take 20, 30 seconds max. Let's then first share the screen and put the presentation on. Okay, I think we can actually start. I see that majority of people already joined, and anyway, this webinar is recorded, so you will receive the link to the recording in case you will need to share that with your colleagues, or maybe if in case you'll need to rewatch that again afterwards. Before we'll jump in, first of all, I would like to say thank you for joining today's webinar. I hope you'll find it useful. I hope you'll bring some information to your company and to your colleagues afterwards. Let us first introduce ourselves and bring the topic on. So the main topic for today's discussion would be developing financial controls and consolidated reporting for multi-entity businesses. Here at the webinar, it's myself, Alex Kesselman. I am a solution engineer at ApprovalMax, and my main role for the past 7 years was trying to understand what are the challenges from the companies out there globally, and then implement technology into their day-to-day business. I also do have Harry Simmons with me today on the call. Harry, over to you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role in the business.
Thanks, Alex. Hello, everyone. I'm Harry Simons, the Customer Success Manager at Joiin, and I'm kind of in charge of kind of managing that customer journey that our clients go through from kind of sign up all the way through to their paid plan and kind of making sure they get the most out of Joiin along the way, kind of as hassle-free, really. So yeah, very much looking forward to the rest of the webinar. I'll pass back on over to Alex.
Thank you, Harry. It's great having you here today. So what are we going to learn today? We have several topics to discuss, and just to give you a bit of a context, managing multi-entity business might be quite a challenging thing, starting from streamlining the accounts payable side when you need to provide a clear sequential flow, clear sequential understanding for everyone from the team, how would they approve their documents, and going into the actual reporting side, because if you're working with many different organizations, you need to somehow consolidate all of the reports across the board and then see what are the data to make your forecast and just understand what is the health of your business. So what we're going to learn today, first of all, how ApprovalMax streamlines the accounts payable process. Then once we'll learn how to do that, how to build our multi-step and multi-level workflows, we'll move to Joiin, which will allow you to create consolidated financial reports to manage your multi-entity and multi-currency groups. Then at the very end, we'll see the way it integrates with your accounting software, Xero or QuickBooks Online. But before we'll jump to dive into the actual presentation, we would like to ask you a question. We would like to learn a bit more about yourself. So if you could please answer the poll that we've prepared for you, just to understand what are some of the challenges that you have when you're managing your multi-entity organizations. So I'll start the poll now. You should be able to see it on the screen. So feel free to select, it's a multiple choice, therefore feel free to select as many options as needed. It will help us understand a bit more about yourself. All right, I see we start to have some traction here. Oh, that's going fast. Thank you very much for engaging with us. We'll run this poll for about next 30 seconds, so feel free to hit a vote button and we'll share the results afterwards. Okay, that's a nice division between the answers. From our side, from the ApprovalMax side, I already see the same pattern as I see before in some other webinars and some other demos. But from the Joiin side, I believe it might be also a very common answer, the main answer. I see that we have a majority of people voted already. Any last votes? So we have maybe last 10 seconds for the last votes. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, with that, I think we can already stop the voting and share the results with you. So, as we can see, half of the audience, it's coming from the accounts payable side, spending too much time on admin and chasing approvers. By the way, each time I'm doing the one-on-one demo with the customers and I'm asking what is the main challenge, that's the number one reason why they came to us and what they want to resolve. And the other half, they are spending too much time on the Excel because it's getting too complex and errors turned for consolidated reporting. That's actually great results because that's exactly what we're going to discuss during this webinar today. So I'll stop sharing and we can move to the actual presentation. And we'll start today with ApprovalMax first. So just a very brief introduction to what is ApprovalMax and where we came from. About 6 years ago, in 2016, ApprovalMax was founded, and since that time, we became quite a big part of both Xero and QuickBooks Online ecosystems. Now, by the way, we also have an integration with Oracle NetSuite. At the same time, if you take a look on the Xero Marketplace, for example, you will find more than 250 plus 5-star rating reviews. And in 2020, ApprovalMax became Xero App Partner of the Year, starting from New Zealand market. Then 2021, we became Xero App Partner of the Year, but this time in UK market. And this year, 2022, we became the finalists for the same award. So we are very proud of these awards. However, what do we do? Well, if we'll take a look on the companies out there, and we'll see that the vast majority of them, especially when it comes for multi-entity business, we see that a lot of them are still using some redundant and outdated ways of approval of their financial documents. If you have 5, 10, 20, or 50 different entities, it becomes really a game of cat and mouse for you to keep track on everything what's going on across all of these entities. You need to send multiple notifications to all of your approvers. You need to keep track on whatever being approved versus not. It brings us to some additional errors like unauthorized payments, missed or delayed payments, incorrect or incomplete coding. And that is exactly what ApprovalMax is trying to resolve. Our main idea here is providing you with a multi-step and multi-level approval workflows. So you can consolidate all of your entities, all of your subsidiaries within one umbrella account, give access to your users either to all of them or to only specific accounts, and then have everything within just one place. So for your approvers, the whole process becomes very clear and very straightforward because they can do their approvals on the go. They can use our mobile app and approve things or raise bills. They can do that via email notifications, or they can simply log into their account where within just one screen, they will be able to approve and see everything across the board. For you as an accountant or bookkeeper, we are generating audit reports, which are automatically generated upon each and every final approval and sent over to your Xero account. So you can always keep track on everything that's being approved within all of your entities. So there is no need for you to jump into the different organizations and see what's actually going on there. And for making those approvals, as I already said, we have a mobile app which will allow you to do that on the go whenever you are. So now let's take a look on the actual demo, the way ApprovalMax works. So let me stop this presentation and I will go into my live product. Basically, just to give you a bit of a context on what is ApprovalMax. I've mentioned already that the core idea behind the product would be its multi-step and multi-level approval workflows. Workflows, it is nothing more than just a sequence of approval steps where you can add as many people and add them specific rules on what type of documents they allow to see, what type of documents they allow to approve. So if, for example, we'll take a look on one of my accounts here, Bananas LLC, and we'll take a look on my bill creation, review, and approval workflow, we'll see that it's quite a simple one. So we have 2 approval steps here, and at the same time, I can create as many approval steps as needed just by clicking on the plus sign, dragging whenever I need to. Let's say it will be our legal department, adding as many approvers as I want to. There is no limitation on amount of users. And the next part, within our approval matrix, we can define what type of things our guys here, our approvers, can or cannot approve. So let's say for legal department, I want them to approve everything that is over or equal to £3,000 and only based on their location. So that is my tracking categories. And I can decide that maybe Chris will be approving everything from London office, Jim will be approving everything from New York office, and May should be approving everything from the Sydney office. Once I have an understanding of what is my organizational structure, I can easily replicate that here in my ApprovalMax account and then start easily streamlining my bills into the system. I can either simply set my bills into awaiting approval state in Xero, and once it's over there, it will be automatically pulled over to your ApprovalMax account and sent through approval steps. Sorry, the wind is blowing really hard, so my doors are closing. Or you can create your bills manually here in ApprovalMax just by providing a list of your requesters. Or you can simply use your Dext integration where you can send all of your bills from Dext into ApprovalMax and then from ApprovalMax into your Xero or QBO account. And if you're working with multi-entity environment, let's say we have 10 different organizations, you've created a workflow for one of those things, and now you want to copy that across to all others, there's no real need for you to do that manually to create these workflows over and over again. You can simply click on the three dots here in the top right corner, select copy the workflow. Well, let's just update that first. Select copy the workflow, select where you want to copy this workflow, select which workflow you want to use, let's say on the purchase order, click on done, and just like that, within 1 second, we've copied all of our users and all of our workflows that we've just created into another organization. So from the user perspective, now once we build the whole workflow, if we'll take a look on the requires my decision screen, and that is the first screen that our users will see, we'll find each and every request, bills, purchase orders, and so on across all of our entities within just one place. So as you can see here, I have a bill from Marco Polo Travel Agency. At the same time, I have a bill from Bananas LLC, and also I do have a bill from Kafka's Accounting. So that is just one place for you, for your users, if they're working with several different entities, to consolidate each and every request to make their approvals easy and hassle-free. Of course, they can go into their main menu, select which organization they want to work with, but in order for us to save time, everything might be done within just one place. If we'll take a look on the right side of the screen, on the other hand, we'll find all of the requests that are awaiting our approval. So here you'll find all the essential data, starting from which supplier is that, which organization you're working with, your total amounts, your buttons approve and reject, your line items. If you've sent any attachments alongside with the request, you'll be able to see those attachments either in full screen or in side-by-side mode. If you're using Zero Budget Manager, you'll be able to bring those budgets on board so your approvers in real time will be able to compare budgets against the request that they're approving at the moment. So for example, here, this bill from ApprovalMax is for product department for account code general expenses. Therefore, I will only see budget for that particular account code and for that department. I can see my remaining budget, I can see my total amounts and the status if I'm still within the budget or if I'm already over the budget. If I want to have a full spend control, I'll be able to raise purchase orders here in ApprovalMax. I can then submit them for approval, make them approved, send over to my Zero account, receive supplier invoice, match this invoice against the original PO, and you can match as many bills to as many purchase orders as needed. So you will have a full understanding of what is your expenditure. And if we're happy with what we're seeing here, if we're happy to approve this bill, simply click on approve and it goes to the next person in line. Or if I'm the last person who is approving this bill, automatically it will go into my Zero account under awaiting payment state. So it's very easy, just one screen, and your approvers can do that on the go. So that's the general overview of ApprovalMax. Now let me start the presentation once again. Of course, I didn't spoke about some additional features like fraud detection, reports, and so on that you have under your account, but the general idea behind that would be these multi-step and multi-level workflows. So just a little case study from one of our customers. This is a partner who brought 53 entity client on board. Previously, all of these 53 companies were using the SharePoint for document management. It took them literally a couple of days to approve a single invoice. Just imagine all the outright costs and time all the accountants and all of the approvers have to spend to approve a single invoice. You need to send multiple notifications to it back and forth. You need to do, I see my camera just turned off. All right, so now it should be fine. You need to send all of these multiple notifications back and forth. You need to include all of this relevant information. And if it's 53 companies, it will take you forever to do that. So what they've done, they came to ApprovalMax, they've built a 3-step approval process across the board. So they build it once and then copy that across all our other entities. Now each and every approver within the team start to receive automatic notifications. So they have a summary of pending approvals maybe once a week. They have instant notifications whenever something requires their decision. And the time reduced for approve a single invoice reduced from 3 days to just 1 hour. Imagine time consuming, time that you will save with that and money that you will save with that. Also, for the accounting team, now they had a clear audit trails that was generated in real time. And of course, all of that with the budget checking. So everything across the board shown to approvers and available for the budget holders and for the board members. So that is just one testimonial from one of our customers, Wildcore, the one that I've just described. But you can find thousands of these reviews and case studies on our website and see how ApprovalMax helped them with their approval process. So with that being said, once we've built these workflows, once we've created a clear sequential path for each and every financial document from for our accounts, for our multi-entity business, the next big challenge would be to understand how we can consolidate all of these data and see what are the health of our organization, how we can see how much money we've spent across the board, how much money we're going to spend in the future. And for that, I'm willing to pass it over to Harry to talk about the Joiin solution. So let me stop the sharing screen. Harry, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Alex. It was really enjoyable to listen to your kind of a little presentation there. So yeah, absolutely. Joiin kind of fits in very nicely within your tech stack, kind of next to ApprovalMax, I guess, kind of being able to produce those kind of really key consolidated reports, get kind of an overview of your business and see kind of what levers to pull. So I'm just going to very quickly begin sharing my screen and I'll continue on with the presentation. So I'm just going to go into slideshow mode, and can I just get a little thumbs up from Alex in a second just to say that you can see my screen okay?
I can see your screen perfectly fine.
Lovely stuff. Okay, so let us continue. So we'll go in a pretty similar format to Alex, really kind of give you a bit of an introduction to Joiin, kind of some of the use cases, some of the challenges our customers face, a little bit info about some of our customers as well, and then we'll kind of move on to that live demo piece as well. So Joiin was kind of initially created within the kind of beginnings period of 2018, kind of a group of kind of quite experienced software developers that have had kind of lots of entries and exits into the market in various forms over the years. We're kind of tasked with creating kind of a real bare bones consolidation tool to bring together some Sage and SAP data. They created what was kind of a real kind of skeleton Joiin, realized it was something that was very marketable and kind of took it to market on the Xero and QuickBooks Marketplace in 2018, moving on to the Sage ecosystem as well, late 2019, early 2020. Very much similar to ApprovalMax, we have kind of a pretty stellar reputation that precedes us, lots of 5-star reviews across the QuickBooks, Sage and Xero Marketplace, kind of 110 plus reviews at kind of the time of creation of this webinar. And then we've got kind of a pretty global spread, I guess, kind of riding off the wave that kind of move towards cloud accounting. You can be anywhere in the world and kind of control and run your business, kind of operating out of 92 countries at this moment in time, with 27,000 plus plugged in entities across the 3 platforms. And then something that we're also very keen to always kind of put across, and it's very much about the kind of the ethos of Joiin. Our roadmap is kind of 100% dictated to us by our customers. So we kind of almost reinvented the wheel, I guess, in the way that kind of software creation, we see ourselves as kind of more of a data tool rather than an accounting tool. So we don't have accountants in-house that have kind of prejudice of how an accounting system should look for that one person. Instead, we let our kind of our users dictate the roadmap to us, which is kind of, I guess, why we've got that kind of quite stellar reputation before us. So moving on, we have kind of the Joiin 3 pillars, which is basically just kind of, again, the ethos that Joiin runs under, and kind of anything we do within the product, whether it be kind of at the very level, kind of low level of support ticket or kind of the implementation of new features, everything kind of goes through the guys, these 3 pillars. So simplicity. Everything within Joiin is kind of really made to be as user-friendly and simple as possible. And that's kind of the key of the 3 pillars, kind of the top standing there. Then we have the reliability aspect of Joiin, very much focused on some of the challenges that our customers face. So the kind of the key challenge that customers face, and also actually was represented in the poll as well at the beginning. So I'm very glad you all voted in a good way for me anyway. That kind of risk of human error when producing consolidated reports within Excel, kind of going back and having to change figures and hoping they follow through, or the risk of just simply entering wrong figures. The automation of Joiin kind of removes any risk there and has kind of that nice automated flow for you. And then finally, we're a low-cost solution as well. So we're very price competitive, particularly if you kind of compare us to any of the other consolidation tools, which are feature-rich. We're kind of a quarter of the price of these ones while still kind of providing a really good service. And kind of one of the reasons that we do this is we kind of realized the importance of being that low-cost solution, that we don't want our users to have to kind of sink lots of time into Join, and so we have that kind of the actual kind of work hour cost. We want people to use Join, be able to kind of realize the simplicity, the reliability of it straight away, and realize that kind of low-cost aspect of it. Very quickly, just kind of a bit of a nod to Jeff Gladnick, one of our customers, who I believe is actually present in this webinar. So hello, Jeff. You are just kind of a bit of a kind of a general case study, really, that kind of highlights some of the key points around Join. So Jeff's become a massive Join advocate, kind of converting people and telling friends, family, LinkedIn, etc., about kind of the wonders of Join, which is always really good. But then he just mentions the kind of that time-saving piece, which is really important to the Join user base, saving time on that kind of month-end consolidation, which can potentially kind of take days, if not weeks, which something that we very much kind of handle off there. So I'll very quickly breeze over some of Join's key features, and then I'll kind of go into them in more detail during the live demo. So we have our off-the-shelf consolidated reporting. So after setup, which takes kind of 2 or 3 minutes in terms of getting the data in, we have off-the-shelf consolidated automated reports for you, ready to produce, share, do whatever you would like with them. We have KPI and dashboarding, which is a really powerful feature, giving kind of a live view of all of those KPIs on a nice presentable dashboard for your multi-entity group, kind of allowing you to realize kind of what levers need to be pulled in that kind of split second. We have budgeting. We pull in all your budgets from Xero, QuickBooks, but also you can create budgets within Join. We have a fully fledged customer reporting tool, which is probably the most powerful tool within Join, allowing you to create kind of fully customized statutory reports. I'll go into that in more detail later. We have our board reports, so kind of very nice presentable consolidated reports that you can distribute and kind of tailor to your liking. Finally, we have the multi-client access, which is basically our accountancy piece that allows our users to use Join with multiple different kind of clients loaded into their kind of Join parent account, allowing them access to each of their clients very quickly and streamlining that process as well. So without further ado, I will move on to the live demo aspect. This will be kind of a 5-10 minute demo, just going through some of the key features of Join. So starting off on our dashboard page, kind of acting as a landing page, that kind of key KPI data here across my group of companies. So when we kind of log on to Join in the morning, we get that really nice visual of kind of how our revenue is doing, cash in bank, etc. And you've got kind of lots of KPIs to choose from there. I'll very quickly move on to our companies page, which is kind of how you get your data into Join, and I'll talk about that very quickly. So you can see here we've got all of our companies listed that are on our Join account. So we've got some Sage companies, some Join companies, some QuickBooks companies, sorry, Xero, and then some of our CSV companies. So you can click this 3-dot menu over here, and you've got kind of a few options here. So refreshing the data, or we can just, for instance, I'll delete and disconnect this one, freeing up a little bit of space on my account, and I can press add company. And then just kind of a couple of clicks, I can connect to Xero, QuickBooks, or Sage, log in with my username and credentials, and all of my data will be pulled in automatically. Or we have our unplugged option, which basically allows you to bring in data from kind of exterior software. So your MYOBs, kind of Excel-based companies as well, giving you lots of flexibility there. All of your data is refreshed every 24 hours, but equally you can trigger a manual refresh at any point as well. I'll very quickly touch on that kind of multi-client access that I mentioned at the beginning. So I'm just going to go on over here to the person icon, and I can go on this Teams and Client section. And just very quickly breezing through here, we have the 2 different sections. So team, so this is if you are an accountant, you can add teammates to Join. You have unlimited licenses as well, so no worries about having to pay extra for those ones, which will have kind of a parental access across all of the Join platform, looking at all of your clients. And then you can create your individual clients as well. So we've got the kind of Join client 1 here, so the Join demo, and then we have kind of our second client, the keepers group. So we can switch in between these ones, kind of giving a real quick fire access to all of those consolidated groups as well. So I'll head on back over into the main section, Join, and I'll show you the more interesting bit, I guess, really some of the actual consolidated reports as well. So we have this taskbar over here, which we can use to navigate. I'll click on this one here, and I'll open up a P&L just for this demo, and I'll build up from what we have on the screen in front of us, which is a single company report kind of taken from Xero, and we'll build it up into a consolidated report as well, going through some of the functionality. So we have over here our kind of report filters, so we can decide which companies we'd like to include within the report. So we've got a couple of companies here. We'll choose this Rose Garden company and then Marina Inc. and build this one up very quickly into a consolidation. So just like that, a couple of clicks of a button, we have a consolidated group report. We have a fully fledged multi-currency piece as well. So you've got all of your kind of company currency here, and then a kind of an extensive list of as many currencies as you could possibly imagine here available to you as well. Just to keep things simple, I'll keep in US dollar for the time being, and then we have the report filters over here. So you've got kind of our preset report filters, basically allows you to get a breakdown of your report kind of however you might like. So I could choose, for instance, this financial year by month, run that one, and then I have a consolidation month by month for this financial year, and I can turn on a little total column there and get my consolidated view as well. A couple of other things I'd like to draw your attention to. Going back into the report filters, we have the by company option. So we can select to run a report by company. We can choose to do so, and this will give me a view, kind of a company A, a company B, and a total split there. I'll go back into this one and quickly select one of my 0 companies. Now heading back on over to this report filters, I can choose to apply 0 tracking category data as well to join, or if you're using QuickBooks, class or location data as well. So I can select one of my 0 tracking categories, apply those changes, and we'll produce a consolidated view of my 0 tracking categories as well. So I'm just very quickly going to go back to kind of my 2 standard demo companies, and I'm going to show you just finally some configuration around the very important intercompany transaction and elimination piece as well. So heading on over to this top right hand corner here, I can basically decide how my eliminations within Joiin are handled. So I can simply remove those intercompany balances if I'm happy with them. I can show eliminated accounts only. So this basically gives me a little bit of a check and balance mechanism to make sure that I've selected all the right intercompany accounts here. So we've got a couple of intercompanies. We can temporarily show all accounts, or we can show our eliminations in a separate column if we want to get that really nice granular view, a total before eliminations, a total of eliminations, and a total after eliminations as well. So I'm going to go back to that default. So that was our kind of off-the-shelf reporting. I'll now very quickly just show you some of our customized reporting, which is kind of, again, quite frankly, more powerful and more useful than the kind of the off-the-shelf reports. So custom reporting within Joiin, very powerful tool, very flexible. Essentially, you can create template reports that can be opened up month on month, and you can just kind of change which companies are attributed with the report, or you can kind of change the dates, etc., giving you that kind of nice flexibility there. So just this is an example of one of my previously created custom reports. So some of the kind of the key features here, we've got the charting. So we've got some bar, donut, and line charts available to us. We've got the custom grouping tool here. So we've got kind of a nice revenue group with some subgroups, giving you that kind of high-level view or that more granular view, depending on kind of who you're presenting to, and what the use case is for the report. And then finally, we have the formula tool as well. So just to finish off, I will go on to one of our report packs, open up those ones, and just very quickly run one of our very presentable, very nice management reports as well. So this one will just open up like so, take a couple of seconds to load, and I'll just scroll through, giving you a bit of a view of some of our really nice management reports as well. So one of the Joiin report packs, you've got a bit of kind of options around the customizability, making it a bit more presentable on brand. So you can see up here we have our company logo. What we can also do is we can change some of the colors. We've got the Joiin blue and the Joiin yellow here, but we can also change the cover image of the report as well. So this is a particular favorite of mine, so I'll save that one, and then I'll proceed with the rest of the report, just scrolling through, giving you a bit of an idea of what some of the reports look like within Joiin. So we've got just a standard trial balance report here, one of our nice month-end P&Ls with some KPIs and some demo data, a monthly kind of P&L report, scrolling through into one of our balance sheet reports, and then finally a cash flow and some more KPIs like so. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. that kind of draws to the end the quickfire demo of Join. I will hand back over to Alex, who's going to handle the first part of this slide, and then I'll be taking the reins on the last couple of points.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. It's actually great stuff. That's one big thing that a lot of our customers asking is like, all right, that's cool that we can build all of these multi-step, multi-level workflows and create a clear process for everyone, so everyone can just approve things on the go within just one place. However, how would we know about all the data across the board? Should we just create multiple reports? And I'm very happy that now we have this joint webinar with you, that you can actually take all of those data from all of these entities and just combine it in one big report. That's really cool. That's really cool. So just as a little checklist for what would be our next steps to make your multi-entity accounting under control. First one is to set up a clear approval process, because if you don't have a clear system between all of your entities, between the users who will be actually using the product. Oh, let me share my screen. So because if you won't have a clear process for everyone from your team, knowing what they need to approve, it will become a nightmare. It will take forever to approve everything, and it just takes a lot of outright costs. Once it is done, it will automatically bring us to elimination of this admin and chasing approvers, simply by automating this process with a tool like ApprovalMax. And of course, once it is done, it is already will bring us to some reduction in unnecessary spending. It will eliminate some duplicate payments and enable a strict spend control. Once we have the clear process for our approvals, now once we have a clear data that can be transferred over to your accounting software, that's when Join will join actually into the game. And yeah, Harry, over to you to talk about the fourth and fifth.
Yeah, so kind of wrapping up here very much with kind of on the Join side of things. Everything within Join is that kind of automating that consolidation process, making what is potentially kind of quite a complex error stream problem of producing consolidated reports really simple, automated, but also kind of with that nice kind of professional look of your financial reports, very predictable, kind of whether that be board level, stakeholders, the bank as well, kind of going on point 4. And then also just giving that kind of real live kind of cloud view as well, kind of riding off the back of the kind of the cloud accounting revolution, giving you that kind of real kind of quick and effective decision-making process within your consolidated group, which can be kind of potentially kind of a slow process, I guess, if you're having to produce manual Excel spreadsheets. And then kind of after the week that might take, realizing, there's a lever we could have pulled on Monday morning that would have been really valuable to the group. Obviously, Join and kind of ApprovalMax in tandem kind of cover off those bases.
Awesome. So now it's just a very short poll just to understand your email preferences and understand if you're willing to receive some additional information. So I will start this poll in a moment. Feel free to answer that if you want to receive some additional information. Later on, we'll come back into the Q&A section. I see there is a lot of questions. Some of them were already answered by our team on the background, and some of those questions we'll cover during the live session in a moment. All right, this is actually one of the questions that I'm always scared to polls that I'm always scared to start, because I'm just thinking, what if everyone will say no? But it's never happened so far. So thank you very much. All right, we already have 70%, a few more votes, just so we know how to go forward with that. Any last votes? Last 10 seconds before I'm ending the poll. All right, I think we can end the poll now. There's no real need to share the results on this one, so we can move straight away to the next slide. Very quickly, just if you find that this presentation, this webinar was useful and you would want to give it a try, both on ApprovalMax and the Join side, you can do that straight away. We have a 14 days free trial with unlimited users and unlimited amount of companies you can add into your accounts for both ApprovalMax and the Join side. So feel free to take a look at approvalmax.com and at join.co to find some additional information. And now, with that being said, we're moving to the Q&A part. So let's see what some of the questions. I see that some already were answered from the ApprovalMax side. Some are still open on the Joiin side. Harry, if you want to pick up some questions and answer, feel free. I will take a look on what do we have for ApprovalMax.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Alex. So just opening up those ones there. I can see, so I'll go with Tenning's question first. And Tenning was asking, is there an option to add commentary to the management reports within Joiin? In simple, yes, absolutely. When creating a report pack, you can press a little three dot menu to edit it, and you can add in kind of notes and commentary on the report by report level as well. So thank you very much, Tenning, for that one.
I see one question for ApprovalMax. Is there a solution for working with multi-currency transactions, invoices and currencies other than the organization's home currency? Yes, absolutely, no problem with that. If you have those currencies in your Zero account, or even if you receive the supplier invoice with another currency, it will be shown to you based on the open exchange rate, so you can always approve that no matter what. So feel free to use multi-currencies as much as you can, just as with the Joiin.
Okay, so I can see a question from Marion here as well. And Marion was basically asking, are you able to compare two budgets within Joiin? So again, yeah, absolutely. Joiin will pull in your budget data automatically from Xero or QuickBooks, whether that be kind of the single company level or the class or category budget. And then there's a little budget toggle above your reports that you can apply if you have budgets relating to the report in front of you, and that will apply budgets to your report. So thank you very much, Marion, on that one.
Allison is asking, does ApprovalMax show the monthly budget or full year? It's a great question, actually both. You can take a look on the overall picture. It will show you the full period of time budget, and you can see what is your overall expenditure, or you can click on the budget itself within ApprovalMax and see what is your month by month expenditure. So both options are available for you. So thank you very much for this question.
Okay, so we've got two questions that came in right next to each other as well, which I will answer off. So the first one is from Eric Hendricks, and then the second one is from Sophie Adams. And basically they're asking if you require to have the same chart of accounts across your various entities within Joiin to produce those consolidated reports. No, you don't at all. So obviously, kind of, as you might imagine as well, actually, the vast majority of our user base have kind of some variation between the different entities and their chart of accounts, whether that be because of kind of a build buy strategy or just some kind of language variations, etc. There's multiple reasons for that. Within Join's custom reports, there's a kind of a tool that allows you to remap your chart of accounts across your various entities, sorting out that issue. A nice little instruction guide can be found on our YouTube channel as well. And Sophie and Eric will drop you an email after this webinar with an instruction guide for that one as well.
One question from Gary. The questions are falling down, so it goes up all the time. So when approving in ApprovalMax, does the individual approver also need to have access to Xero, or is that not required? It is not required. Moreover, that is one of the benefits of using ApprovalMax, because it becomes sort of like a shield between your users and your Xero account. There is really no need for your users to have access to Xero at all, so they won't be exposed to all the financial data, all the financial statements. You can give them access only to ApprovalMax, give them permissions, what type of things they allow to approve, and they can do all of those things just within ApprovalMax without having any access to Xero or QuickBooks Online.
Okay, we have another question from Donna. Kind of building on that budgets piece. Can you do multi-company budgets within Joiin? Yes, you can. So you can create budgets within Joiin using our template. Very nice and easy process, actually. You download the template, and then at the point of uploading the budget to Joiin, you can decide which company or which class, category, or location, or which group it is applied to. As well. So yeah, very easy to create those kind of group level budgets or kind of any variations of budgets really within Joiin.
Yeah, Chris is asking, mix software, QuickBooks Xero can be used. I missed the elimination COA selection. Could you send us summary notes? I believe that's a question for both of us. In ApprovalMax, you can add as many organizations as you want to, and does not depend on your accounting software. You can work at the same time with Xero, QuickBooks Online, and Oracle NetSuite within just one umbrella account. I believe that's the same thing on the Joiin side, right?
Yeah, very much the same way. So yeah, that's Chris' question, isn't it there? So yeah, no issue in terms of reporting cross-platform within Joiin, as indeed many of our users do. And then Chris also mentions that elimination piece around missing where you were able to select the intercompany accounts. And he asks us to send summary notes to him, which we will do after this call, Chris.
What else?
So I can jump in for a second. There's one that's kind of got to the top of my my list. I'm not sure how this list is working. It's moving up and down.
It's just
Yeah.
back and forth, so it's really hard to navigate.
So we've got one from Wilco. Hi, Wilco. A familiar name and face, of course. Is the cash flow report standard report within Joiin? Yeah. So the cash flow report, left-hand taskbar. You have the option to select one of our off-the-shelf cash flows, or you can create a fully customized cash flow by pressing Custom Reports, Create New Report, and then there the option for cash flow will appear.
I've actually just got an invitation on LinkedIn from one of the attendees today. Thank you very much for adding me in. So we have we have only 4 minutes left, so let's maybe wrap it up and just answer some last questions. One question for ApprovalMax. Kate is asking, with ApprovalMax, what happens if someone does not approve an invoice by month end? Does ApprovalMax create an accrual schedule? And what happens if an invoice is approved after the VAT return has been created? It's a very good question. So we won't create automatically the accrual report. You can, of course, do that manually. We have a report section in ApprovalMax itself. So you can build up the report based on the bills are still pending approval, and then click on the 3 dots on top of the right corner and create an accrual account for Xero manual journal entry. So it will just create a CSV file, which you can then import into a Xero file. And at the same time, talking about the notifications and talking about the users who are not doing their work on time, we have several types of notifications that are being sent to our users. One is an instant notification for each and every request that you're going to approve. You can turn it off, and you can simply enable summary of pending approvals and decide that maybe on Monday each week, we will send you an email across the board showing you what is exactly awaiting your approval.
I think there's one last one, which is a really key one from David Gold as well on the Joiin side of things. So David's asking if you're able to create permanent consolidation journals that aren't pulled in from Xero. He kind of uses the example of removing of share capital, subsidiaries, investments, and to add goodwill. So yeah, essentially we've actually kind of revolutionized this kind of aspect of Joiin very recently, kind of streamlining that process. So essentially you can create a kind of a dummy company within Joiin where you can post in any kind of adjustments, journals, consolidation items as well, which then kind of appears as an additional company on your Joiin reports. We have a really good instructional video on this one actually on our YouTube channel, David, but also I'll be sure to reach out after this webinar, link you to that YouTube chat link, and then we can kind of discuss it if you have any questions.
I think maybe the last question from our side, because we actually have 1 minute left. Can you raise an employee expense report in ApprovalMax? We use Dext accounts for most of our invoices and expenses across our group. Can ApprovalMax replace Dext completely? Actually, we have a direct integration with Dext because they're doing one piece of this work for OCR, for bringing your invoices and expense reports in digital format. Once you do that with Dext, you send it over to ApprovalMax for approvals. And from ApprovalMax, it goes to Xero, where you can create the reports in Joiin. So it's actually a mutual connection between all of these 3 systems. ApprovalMax cannot replace Dext, and Dext cannot replace ApprovalMax. It's simply different things that we're doing. But we can approve expense reports, of course, no problem at all. Do you want to answer any last questions, or we are actually? Oh, it's already.
So I'll see. So yeah, it looks like there's one last one. within gains. So there's a quick one from Donna, which I'm afraid is not a good answer for you, Donna, here. Does Joiin produce cash flow forecasts? No, unfortunately not. You can present forecasts that you've created elsewhere within Joiin, but we don't have that fully fledged forecasting tool. And I think that looks like that was the last question on the Joiin side of things, as far as I can see.
But in any case, even though I see that there is a few more open questions and questions are falling, unfortunately, we just won't have any time to answer all of them. But as my promise, after this session, our support engineers and our team will come back to you with a comprehensive answer in case we forgot or missed something. So don't worry, we will answer all of your questions, but offline. With that being said, thank you very much for your time, for all of these great questions. I hope you'll find something useful from today's webinar. I hope you'll give it a try and become one of the happy customers for both ApprovalMax and Joiin. Thank you. Have a lovely rest of the day, and bye-bye.
Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.